Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. I wanted to make a quick tutorial for you guys to show you how I created the hair in this image. I've had a lot of questions about it, so I'm just going to show you how I did this. This image was edited over a series of a couple days, so it did take some time. I wasn't feeling good, so I did not do it all in one day. So the hair actually probably took several hours to do. And I used all of the hair from this image. Sometimes I will go and find a different image and cut some hair and then come in and place it. But I used all of this hair, so it's just these couple strands here, and it's just repeating. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull it out. I'm not going to worry about any strays right now. So I'm just going to pull it out. I'm going to really over exaggerate it. And I am going to put a layer mask on this because I don't want it to adjust her head. So I'm just going to mask it off around the edges just in case it accidentally pulled some of her face too. And I want to make sure it didn't get her body, so I just want to put this back. And I am going to go ahead and flatten this instead of having a bunch of different layers. I'm just going to make some minor adjustments, flatten, make some more minor adjustments, flatten. I'm going to pull this out some more. I'm going to click OK. And then again, I'm going to put a layer mask on it, and with my black brush I'm going to go back around her face. And wherever else this would mess with her whole face, so going to take all of this off. I'm going to put that back right there. I'm going to put this back right here. Okay. Oops. Okay. I'm going to flatten it again. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my my lasso tool here, and I'm just going to draw around this. I'm going to select all of the hair, so I am going to overlap this onto her skin a little bit, and then I can just mask it off. I'm going to copy that. And then I am going to make it bigger. I'm going to move it in place. And then I'm going to blend it in. And this is what takes some time. So with my black brush, I'm going to start blending this in. I am going to make it come back. To its original hairline that goes down her. So I'm going to have to mask off just a little bit here, just so we get that original line. And then you can see that there's some blue over here. We will fix that. And then let me get this here. I'm going to leave the top of her head the same size, so I'm going to have to mask this top part off here and blend it in. And I'm just going to go along the outside here to get rid of this line. I'm going to put that back. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that little bit right there. And before you do this, you want to make sure that you get your background the color that you want, so that you're not trying to weave in and out through all of these little hairs. All the adjustments that you do with the hair, you just have to take your mask and mask it off instead of trying to get around all those little hairs, because we all know that's a pain. So just make your background the color that you want it to be. All of it. So then all you have to do is just run it down, and that makes it easier than trying to do that after you already have the hair in place. Is that? I messed up here. Let me go back and fix that. Okay. And you can add some, you can be really selective here. Just take your time. Like, I think I'm gonna add this little bit back. So I'm gonna go in a little bit farther and get rid of this. Because I want that little bit of light there. Might even go a little bit farther. And bring back that too. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and flatten it. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Again, I'm going to take my lasso tool and I'm going to select that same bit of hair. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to move it with a layer mask. I'm going to mask it off and blend it in. I'm going to zoom in here. Turn it on and off. And I want this little color back here, so I'm going to take that off. Going to turn it a little bit so that this part over here matches up. And then I'm going to continue to turn that on and off until it's all blended in the way that I want it. I don't know. I think I might put this back. I also did make her, I made her torso longer here. So I don't want to crop it, or I don't want to mask it off to the end of the image, so I'm just going to leave that there. And that's pretty much all I did. I just kept doing the same thing over and over until it was full and the way that I wanted it. You can flip it so that it's somewhat different. And blend it in. And then when I had it all done, I used my Painterly hair action to paint it, and then it just blended in that much more. Then you really couldn't tell that it was cut and pasted. It made everything smoother. I did add shadows to it as well. I kept her arm invisible, so I'm just going to completely take that off and then zoom in and paint it back around that. Because I want it to look like her arm is on top. Let me get this off right here. And just kind of down around her dress, and I'm going to go with the flow of her hair. And then I'm going to flatten it. And then to get rid of the, you can see the blue here from where we copied her arm. There's a couple different ways you could get rid of that if you wanted to. You can use your clone stamp tool and just select an area. And then just move it down and copy it. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Or you could just simply change the color of it. You could put a new layer. You could get your eyedropper tool here. You could select the color that you wanted to cover it up with. So I'm just going to use that right there. And I'll paint over that little bit of blue, and then just change your blending modes. And it will get rid of that blue for you. This also works really well when you're trying to add depth back to it. If you paint over it and you change the blending mode. And then to add to kind of blend this in a little bit, I didn't do a very good job there, but anyway. To blend this in, I'm going to do a couple different things. I'm going to go to my exposure. I'm going to pull the exposure down. And then I'm going to invert that layer mask. And then I'm going to paint that back on where it should be darker. So right here, it should be darker because it's under her arm, and then around her dress it's going to be darker as well. And you can add just a little bit more. You can do some of these darker areas here. And then you can do a curves. You can darken it just a little bit more with curves here. Just to kind of get it to look like it actually belongs there. And then sometimes if you're just not getting the result that you want with either exposure or curves, I just put a new layer mask on. I get black. Make sure my color is completely black. And then I'm just going to paint it on and lower the opacity. And then I just went and I did the same thing on the other side. I added my shadowing and messed with the exposure and the curves, and I edited the image as I normally would. I hope that helped you guys.